All right, let's kick off another deep dive. This time, we're heading to the San Siro for Italy versus France.
Sunday can't get here soon enough.
I know, right? Big UEFA Nations League clash.
Yeah.
Tons of history between these two.
Oh, yeah.
And even though they've both locked in their spots in the quarterfinals,
It's not going to be just a friendly kickabout. No way.
not at all. Italy's sitting pretty, undefeated at the top of the group.
And they'd love to keep it that way.
Absolutely. But France, they need a serious win.
They're going to need to win by at least 2 goals to snag that top spot.
We're talking a huge upset. And you know what? That's exactly why we're here.
It's going to be an incredible match.
At Tips Moto, we live for these kinds of nail-biters.
Absolutely.
That's why we've crunched the numbers of their supercomputer.
And we've got some seriously good predictions.
And, of course, the best betting tips for this epic showdown.
Well, let's dive into the group dynamics first. I mean, Italy's unbeaten streak, it's really something.
They've been unstoppable. Those wins against Belgium and Israel, so impressive.
Exactly. Shows just how strong they are.
But France had that draw against Israel, and that's put them in a tough spot.
It's a must-win for them if they want to top the group. No two ways about it.
And let's be real, the history between these two teams adds another layer of intensity.
Oh, for sure. Every match is like a chapter in a legendary rivalry.
We're talking Euro 2000, the 2006 World Cup final.
Classic matches.
Moments that are etched in football history.
And this match, it's just adding to that incredible story.
So how are these teams shaping up for Sunday?
Well, under Luciano Spalletti, Italy's been like a wall defensively.
They've been so tough to break down.
High-pressing, compact system, shutting down opponents in midfield, forcing those turnovers.
It's a tactical masterclass.
Mm.
But they're not just about defense. We've seen some real attacking flair, too.
Oh, yeah.
Sandro Tonali in midfield, he's been pulling all the
He's
strings.
been phenomenal.
He even scored the winner against Belgium.
Such a crucial player.
Absolutely. Then you got Matteo Retegui up front, consistently finding the back of the net.
Goal machine.
And Moise Kean, he's been on fire lately.
That hat-trick in Syria, unbelievable.
Makes you wonder how Spalletti's going to approach this match, though.
Right.
I mean, they've already qualified. Surely there'll be some squad rotation.
It's a definite possibility, but could that upset their rhythm? They've been so in sync.
It's a risk, for sure. Fresh legs are great, but disrupting that chemistry could be costly.
And we can't forget those injury updates.
Right.
Manuel Locatelli is replacing Samuel Irici, and Nicolo Barella might be playing a more advanced role.
That could change things up a bit.
Less of Tonali's magic in the midfield.
Potentially.
That could be a big deal, especially against a team like France.
Oh, definitely.
Speaking of France, that draw against Israel wasn't ideal.
Definitely not the result they were hoping for.
Not when you need a big win to claim that top spot.
It's added pressure, that's for sure.
And to make matters worse, no Kylian Mbappe, no Ousmane Dembélé.
Massive losses for them.
Can anyone really fill that void? I mean, losing Mbappe is a huge blow. Well, France still has some serious talent on the pitch.
For sure.
Mike Maignan, their goalkeeper, he'll be back in familiar territory at the San Siro.
He's been a rock for them.
Absolutely. And then there's Marcus Thuram, a real force up front.
Pace, physicality could cause some real problems for Italy's defense.
Yeah, he's one to watch.
So maybe a more direct approach from France this time.
Could be.
And where does that leave N'Golo Kanté? He's usually the key to disrupting their opponents.
Oh, Kante's vital. He'll need to be at his best to contain Italy's attack.
But he can't do it alone. They're missing some key players in midfield and defense, too.
Yeah, Mbappe, Dembele, Fofana, Bade, Tchouaméni. Big gaps to fill.
Puts a lot of pressure on Deschamps to find the right formula.
It does. It'll be interesting to see how Kingsley Coman does replacing Dembele.
And whether players like Michael Olise and Bradley Barcola can step up.
A real chance for them to shine on the big stage.
But for Deschamps, even with his incredible track record, this recent dip in form must be a concern.
The expectations are always high for the French manager.
Especially against a team like Italy.
Exactly. He'll need to pull out all the stops to secure a convincing win.
But before we jump into predictions, let's rewind to the last time these two teams met.
Oh, yeah.
Italy walked away with a 3-1 victory back in September.
A statement win for sure.
That's got to be weighing on both teams' minds.
Yeah, it's definitely a psychological factor.
And then there's the history, those iconic finals from Euro 2000 and the 2006 World Cup.
It doesn't get much bigger than that.
Talk about high-stakes, intense football.
Those matches perfectly capture the essence of this rivalry. Fierce competition every single time.
Makes you wonder what Sunday's going to bring.
Another tight, intense encounter.
I think everyone's on the edge of their seats waiting to hear what our supercomputer predicts for this clash of titans.
All right, drum roll, please. Well, after crunching all the data, we give Italy a 40% chance of winning.
Okay, 40% for Italy.
A draw sits at 35%.
Interesting.
And France, they have a 25% chance of taking the victory.
So, not impossible for France, but definitely the underdogs, according to our supercomputer,
That's right.
and the predicted scoreline.
We're predicting a 1-1 draw.
A draw. Wow. Why does the supercomputer think it's going to be so close?
A few things are pointing us in that direction.
Okay, like what?
Well, squad rotations for both teams, that's a big one.
Right. We were talking about that earlier. Could really shake things up.
Absolutely. Fresh legs, but maybe a change in the flow of the game.
No.
Tough to predict.
Then you've got Italy's home advantage at the San Siro.
Oh, yeah, that crowd can be a real force. It's going to be electric.
Makes a difference, for sure.
But France, they need to go for it. They need those 2 goals to win the group,
Right, so they have to push forward.
which could leave them exposed at the back. Risky strategy.
So Italy's defense versus France's need to attack.
Exactly. It's going to be a real tactical battle.
And with the quarterfinals just around the corner.
Both managers might play it a bit safe.
Don't want any unnecessary injuries at this stage.
Absolutely not. All these factors, they point towards a tight, low-scoring match.
So a real nail-biter for the fans.
Oh, for sure. This is why we love football.
All right, I know everyone's waiting for this. Betting time. What's Tips Moto recommending for this Italy versus France showdown?
Well, first up, based on our analysis, we'd recommend a bet on the draw.
So, backing up that 1-1 prediction, bold move.
We believe in our supercomputer, and the data tells us a draw is the most likely outcome.
I draw it is. What about for those who like to get a little more specific with their bets?
Well, we're also recommending a bet on both teams to score.
Both teams to score, even in a low-scoring game.
Yeah, we think so. Both Italy and France, even with rotations, they've got the attacking talent to find the back of the net.
Okay, I can see that. Draw, both teams to score. What about the total number of goals? Over, under?
We're going under 2.5 goals.
Under. Interesting.
Yeah, under. We've talked about it, right? Tactical battle, cautious approach. It all points to a low-scoring match.
Under 2.5 goals. Got it. Now, for those who like to focus on individual players, any recommendations for anytime goal scorers?
Definitely. We're keeping a close eye on Moise Kean for Italy.
Kean, he's been in red-hot form.
If he starts, he's a serious threat to score. Absolutely.
And for France?
Marcus Thuram.
Thuram, yeah. Pace, power.
He could be the one to break through Italy's defense.
Definitely a player to watch.
Now, if you're feeling really adventurous and you really trust our supercomputer,
Lay it on me.
we're sticking with that 1-1 prediction for the correct score.
Wow, okay. That's a very specific bet.
It is, but we like to give options for everyone. High risk, potentially high reward.
I like it. But remember, everyone, betting always involves risk. No matter how good the analysis is, it's football, anything can happen.
True, but at TipsMoto, we're all about minimizing that risk. We give you the best information, the best odds to help you make smart betting decisions.
And you've got those great odds in Kenya. Can't forget about that.
Best in the business.
So if you're going to bet on this Italy-France match, TipsMoto is the place to be.
Oh.
But it's not just about the bets, right? It's about the passion, the excitement of the game,
Yeah.
sharing that with other fans.
Absolutely. That's why we love our social media community.
It's amazing. So where can our listeners find you guys online?
We're everywhere. Twitter, TipsMoto for live match updates and expert opinions.
Got to be quick on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. And our Facebook page, also TipsMoto, great place to connect with other fans, share your thoughts, get into those heated debates.
Love a good football debate.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
And of course, Instagram, TipsMoto for those behind-the-scenes moments, exclusive content, special offers, you name it.
Gotta love some exclusive content.
And for all the in-depth analysis, match previews, betting tutorials,
You can't forget YouTube.
our YouTube channel, TipsMoto, it's packed with great stuff. We're really trying to create that ultimate football and betting experience for our followers.
Fantastic. So, as we count down to Sunday's huge match between Italy and France at the San Siro, I think we need to leave our listeners with a final thought.
A little something to ponder.
I like it. We've talked about those squad rotations.
Yeah.
Will they shake things up, disrupt the flow?
Or will we see fresh legs and new tactics be the key to victory?
Tough question. What do you think? Head over to our social medias. Let us know your thoughts. We love hearing from you. All right, as we wrap up our deep dive into this massive Italy versus France match, let's go over those betting tips one last time. For our listeners who want to place a bet, where should they put their money?
Well, all signs point to a draw.
That seems to be the consensus.
35% chance according to our supercomputer, and yeah, that 1-1 scoreline just feels right when you consider everything we've discussed.
Right, a draw makes sense, but come on. These teams are known for their attacks.
True.
You really think it's going to be that low scoring?
Well, that's where our second tip comes in. We're also recommending a bet on both teams to score. Even with potential rotations, I think both Italy and France have more than enough firepower to find the back of the net. You could even combine those two bets for a potentially bigger payout.
Now you're talking. But for those who like to keep it simple, what would you suggest?
Sticking with the total number of goals,
Yeah.
I'd say go for under 2.5 goals.
Okay, under 2.5. So we're thinking tactical, cagey, not a goal fest.
Exactly. Both teams might prioritize a solid performance over all-out attack, especially with those quarterfinals coming up.
And of course, for the high rollers out there, there's always the option to bet on the correct score. Still feeling good about that 1-1 prediction.
Oh, absolutely. Our supercomputers crunch the numbers, and that's the scoreline that keeps popping up. But hey, remember, betting always has some risk. It's football. Anything can happen.
That's why we love it. But whether you're a casual fan or a serious bettor, it's all about enjoying the beautiful game. And for those who like to have a little wager on the action, well, at Tipsmodo, we're dedicated to giving you the tools and insights you need to make those smart, informed decisions.
Exactly. We've got the best odds in Kenya, expert analysis you can trust, and a platform that's super easy to use.
And we can't forget that incredible social media community you guys have built.
Yeah.
For our listeners who want to connect with fellow football fanatics, get live updates, and really dive deeper into the world of betting, where can they find you?
We're all over social media. On Twitter, it's Tipsmodo for those quick updates and expert opinions.
Got to stay up to date.
Our Facebook page is also Tipsmodo. It's a great place to connect with other fans, share your thoughts, really get those debates going.
Love a good football debate.
Everyone does. Then there's Instagram, Tipsmodo, for all the behind-the-scenes stuff, exclusive content, special offers.
I love the exclusives.
And for those who want even more in-depth analysis, match previews, betting tutorials, all that good stuff, our YouTube channel is the place to be. Also, Tipsmodo. We're really going all out to create that ultimate football experience for our followers.
So as we look forward to Sunday's UEFA Nations League showdown between Italy and France at that legendary San Siro Stadium, one thing's for sure. Whether you're rooting for the Azzurri or Lev Blos, bet smart and bet with Tipsmodo. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of football and betting. Until then, keep playing and keep